the gift that froze the room. 30 people were standing around the glass, walled collaboration space. They were all pretending to smile. The people in the collaboration space did not really look happy. 30 people were just going through the motions. In the collaboration space, paper plates, store-bought cake, forced applause, the kind of birthday party that was not really about the birthday person. It was about looking good in a big company, where people are not always treated nicely. The birthday celebration was not about the person. All it was about appearing humane in a corporate world that rarely is. Maya Alvarez was standing in the middle of everything with her hands folded together in front of her, and her shoulders all scrunched up. She had figured out how to stand like that after a time. She was small enough that people would not make fun of her, but she also looked confident, so people would not think she was weak. Maya Alvarez was 28 years old. She was the youngest senior analyst at Haraway Global, a really big company that made a lot of money from consulting. Haraway Global said it was a company where the best people got ahead, but really it liked people who did what they were told and did not rock the boat. To most of the people in the room, Maya was invisible on a good day. Too quiet, too serious, too ordinary. She was not the type of employee that the executives would normally remember. The executives did not know much about her, because she did not talk a lot in meetings. She just did her job. Then she went home. She delivered results, and that was it. The employee delivered her results. Then she went home to her own life. That is what made what happened next so surprising. Nobody saw it coming. The thing that happened next was really unexpected. What happened next was a surprise, because nobody thought it would happen. Before we cut the cake, the lady from Human Resources said with a smile, clapping her hands together, "One time our CEO wants to talk to us for a minute." The room became neat and tidy away. The room was suddenly very organized. The room looked really nice. Ethan Cole stepped forward. Ethan Cole is a guy about 6'2". He always looks perfect, like he just stepped out of a magazine. His face is calm. You cannot tell what he is thinking. This is the kind of face that makes people who give him money think he is trustworthy. It is also the kind of face that makes the people who work for him nervous about making mistakes. Ethan Cole does not do things on a whim. He does not go to birthday parties. The man who was in charge of Haraway made it work like an oiled machine. He really made Haraway run smoothly. Haraway was like a machine because of the way he managed it. He was very good at running Haraway. And yet, here he was. Maya felt like her stomach was falling down. This was a bad feeling for Maya. Maya did not like this feeling in her stomach. She had spoken to him 3 times in 2 years. These conversations were all brief. They were all professional. They were all forgettable. The conversations with him were brief. The conversations with him were professional. The conversations with him were forgettable. So the woman thought to herself at that moment. Ethan nodded politely. His eyes looked around the room. Then they landed on her. It was really clear that he was looking at her. Ethan was looking at her. The man said, "Maya." Then he said, "Happy birthday," in a really calm voice. He was being very careful with what he was saying. People started clapping. It got really loud. This was interesting. The woman said thank you. It was really quiet. He said that there is a gift. The gift is from him. A ripple moved through the crowd. It was like a wave that went through all the people who were standing there. The crowd was really big. You could see the ripple moving through the crowd. The people in the crowd were all looking around to see what was happening. A ripple like that is pretty unusual, so everyone in the crowd was very curious about what was going on with the ripple in the crowd. From him, someone passed forward a box. It was black. The finish was not shiny. The box was tied with a ribbon that was a dark red color. This box looked really fancy. It looked like it cost a lot of money. The box seemed personal in a way that did not fit in at the office. The small box was elegant and expensive. It seemed intimate. The small box did not belong in an office like this one. Maya's fingers stopped moving for a moment. Maya's fingers just would not do what she wanted them to do. Maya's fingers were not going anywhere. Her manager told her to open it. The woman did that. The room just went completely silent. Inside this thing was a perfume bottle. It was made of glass and it had gold letters on it. This was a fancy perfume. People would talk about this perfume in a voice. You would not give this perfume to anyone. Someone took a deep breath, and it was so sharp it was noticeable. The person inhaled sharply. Someone else laughed. They were not really sure why they were laughing. Maya felt heat rush to her face. This was not because she was flattered or excited. It was because she was in shock. Maya was really shocked by what was happening to Maya. This wasn't appropriate. Every single person was aware of the fact that this thing was true. The thing that everyone knew was that it existed. It was something that people knew about. Everyone knew it. People stared at her, like she was the one who did something. Everyone looked at her as if she was the one who had crossed a line. They all thought that she was the one who had done something. The woman, she was the center of attention. Everyone looked at her. Ethan looked at her eyes calmly. He was very calm when he met her eyes. Ethan met her eyes. He did it calmly. The man said that there is a card. Her hands shook a little when she opened it up. She was really nervous. Her hands trembled slightly as she unfolded the thing. It was like she was scared of what she would find. Her hands were still shaking as she looked at it. The paper was old and yellow. Her hands trembled slightly as she unfolded it again to get a better look. When someone like her walks into a room, you can feel it. The room is different now. This happens even when she does not try to make an impression. Her presence is just that powerful. The woman has a way of changing the room without trying. No signature. He did not need one. The silence went on for long that it started to feel painful. The silence was really uncomfortable. It was the kind of silence that makes you feel like something is wrong. The silence just kept going. It was hurting me. Maya closed the box carefully. She made sure the box was shut tight so nothing would fall out. Maya did this so the things inside the box would be safe. The box was now. Maya felt happy that she had done it right. She felt really exposed and judged. People were looking at her in a way that made her feel like she was not a person anymore. The woman felt like she had been reduced to something that she did not want to be. She had never asked to be this thing that people saw her as. The woman felt like people were seeing her in a way that was not really her all. People started whispering to each other before the cake was even cut. The story changed a lot by the end of the day. The story was really different from what it was. In the morning, the story had already changed much. The woman is probably sleeping with that man. She has to be sleeping with him. The woman and that man are probably together, like that. That is how she got promoted to a position at her job. The company promoted her. Now she has a lot more work to do. She is very happy about the promotion and her new role at the company. The promotion is a deal for her, and it is something that she has been working towards for a long time. She got promoted because of her work and dedication to the company. I always knew that the woman was very ambitious. Nobody ever asked her what was going on inside her head or how she really felt about things. She just had to deal with her feelings on her own, without anyone checking in on her. The people around her did not seem to care about her emotions, which is really sad. Nobody asked her how she felt. Nobody asked her if she wanted people to notice her. She just got all this attention. It was not something she asked for. The attention was just given to her. Nobody saw the way Ethan Cole looked at her as she walked away. He did not look at her because he wanted her, because he felt something much stronger than that. Ethan Cole felt something that was really weighing him down as he watched her leave. Regret. The woman they underestimated. By Monday morning, Maya's name had become a rumor. She felt it in the way conversations stopped when she walked into rooms, in the way her inbox suddenly filled with quick check ints that weren't about work, in the way her manager avoided eye contact altogether. She hadn't worn the perfume. She hadn't even opened the box again. But perception didn't care about truth. What no one knew, what no one bothered to learn, was who Maya Alvarez really was. She hadn't climbed quietly because she lacked ambition. She had climbed quietly because she'd learned early that visibility came with a price. Raised by a single mother who cleaned offices like this one at night, Maya understood power long before she ever touched it. She understood what it meant to be watched, assumed, underestimated. Which was why she'd done something no one at Haraway knew about. 3 years earlier, while the firm struggled to break into emerging markets, Maya had built an independent forecasting model on her own time, on her own laptop. It identified risk patterns no consultant had noticed. When she quietly sent it to strategy leadership, it saved Haraway from a disastrous acquisition. The board never learned her name. Ethan Cole did. He'd traced the model himself, verified the logic, compared it against external analysts, and when he asked who built it, HR shrugged. Just one of the analysts, they'd said. That moment stayed with him. The gift hadn't been desire. It had been gratitude, misjudged, poorly executed, blind to optics. And now, Maya was paying the price. On Thursday, the fallout exploded. An anonymous complaint hit HR. Inappropriate relationship. Abuse of power. Unfair advancement. Maya was summoned. She walked into the conference room alone. Ethan was already there. So was the board. She didn't cry. She didn't defend herself emotionally. She spoke clearly, calmly, with receipts. She revealed the projects she'd led quietly, the revenue she'd protected, the systems she'd built. Then she slid one final document across the table. Her resignation. The room froze again. "You don't need to do this," someone said quickly. "Yes," Maya replied. "I do." She stood, dignity intact. As she reached the door, Ethan spoke. "Maya," he said, voice tight. "I owe you more than an apology." She turned. "So does this company." Instant karma. 2 weeks later, Haraway Global made headlines. Not for a merger, not for profits, but for accountability. Ethan Cole stood before press and employees alike and told the truth, fully, publicly, without deflection. He acknowledged his failure in judgment, his responsibility as a leader, and the systems that allowed speculation to punish the wrong person. Then he did something no one expected. He announced Maya Alvarez as the founder of a new independent analytics division, one Haraway would now license, not control. She hadn't been discarded. She'd been elevated on her own terms. The whispers stopped. The apologies came too late, but the message landed. Respect isn't optional. Intent doesn't erase impact. And underestimating quiet people is the fastest way to lose them. Maya never wore the perfume. She didn't need it. Her presence was unforgettable on its own.